So today I'm going to be doing a simple toilet repair. If you ever have a toilet that's running constantly, like off and on, usually that's the toilet flapper here that we'll be replacing. If you ever have a toilet that doesn't fill up fast enough or not at all, it could be this fill valve. Start by shutting the water off to the toilet. In this case I have a little odd one that's a push-pull shut off. In most cases you will have a turn handle stop. You can go ahead and flush the toilet just to get most of the water out of the tank. Before starting to take the supply line loose, I do get the area prepped, and that way any water that leaks out is going to catch most of the water in this bucket. At this point we'll start disconnecting the supply line first to get to this fill valve next. Anytime I'm messing with the supply line like this, I do like to go ahead and replace it, just because if you've done plumbing, you know once you touch it, everything seems to want to leak afterwards. So this kind of takes the risk of a callback away. After removing the old supply line, I go ahead and install my new supply line. Like I said, I typically replace these supply lines to take away the risk of a callback. If you do plumbing, you know that time is money, and a callback can actually cost you quite a bit of money running a plumbing company. Next, I'm going to start by removing the nut that's holding our toilet fill valve in. I usually keep it held down until I'm ready to catch the water. Once I get a bucket under it, I go ahead and pull up on it and all the water will just pour into the bucket. Once you catch all your water, you can go ahead and remove the tube and then pull the fill valve out. Your fill valve is going to consist of a couple of different parts here. In some cases you won't use all of them. For the fill valve you do have to set the height, as this will set the water level in the tank. This little clip actually slides up and allows you to move the fill valve up and down to the correct level. For this part you will have to work with it back and forward to set the water level correctly, which you won't really know for sure until you start filling it up. Some toilets, they do have a fill line on the toilet throat in the middle there where the tube from the fill valve will go inside. That'll show you where the water level goes. Once you have an idea of where you want to start on your fill valve, you can go ahead and install the washer next. Once you have your washer installed, you can go ahead and slide this down through the hole, and you'll have your nut that you install on the bottom. Typically you can hand tighten these down pretty tight by hand. In my case I do use the channel locks to give it a little snug afterwards, but I do not go very tight with those. After that you can go ahead and install your toilet supply line onto the fill valve threads. Once again, whenever you tighten these by hand, that will seal it for the most part. I do use the channel locks once again, but I do not tighten them very tight with the channel locks. Next, we can take the tube and install that onto the fill valve. This will actually go over to the toilet throat. In my case, it has an opening for the hose to go onto. In some cases, that won't be there, so you have this clip you can install on instead. But in my case, like I said, I don't need this, so you'll see me remove the clip and go into the insert portion. Next, I'll be removing the toilet flapper. You'll have to remove your chain from the toilet handle. Whenever you're doing this, you have to be careful removing the flapper, as that clips that they're on are kind of brittle sometimes. In most cases there's two flappers. There's a 2-inch flapper and then there's a 3-inch flapper. In this case we're going to be using a 3-inch flapper, and this one's a universal flapper. Now some manufacturers like to be difficult and have their own special flappers, and if that's the case, I'm sorry, but you'll have to get whatever flapper is made for their toilet. After you clip your flapper on, you'll have to position your clip for your flapper onto the toilet handle. I do recommend when you're setting the length of your chain to leave a little bit of slack on it, but don't get it too tight on the chain, as the flapper won't be able to sit down all the way. Once I have the length of my chain set, the extra links that are on the flapper, I usually use my channel locks and pinch them, so that way I can remove the extra links that are clipped on there. You don't have to do this, it's just I have seen them get stuck under the flapper before. I'm going to go ahead and reinstall this escutcheon back on, so that way I can turn the toilet back on next. Like I said, if you have the standard shut off, you won't have to do all this. You'll be able to go ahead and turn yours back on. I'll go ahead and turn my water back on, and at this point we're going to see where the water fills up to and see if I need to readjust the water level. See, in this case it actually fills up too much and starts overflowing into the throat here. From this point on, you have to do a minor adjustment, so I can actually take the adjuster and turn it counterclockwise to lower the float, which will set the level of the water a little bit lower. Some toilets will actually show a fill line on the toilet throat to let you know where to stop the water. In this case, it doesn't have that, so I try to stay a little bit below the tube from overflowing. After all that, you just kind of check for leaks, flush the toilet, make sure it's all working correctly, but that's about all it is. Like I said, you'll typically do this for minor repairs. In some cases, the repairs are a little bit more difficult. For more videos like this, go ahead and give me a like and a follow.